Hi, welcome back to Genesis Custom Sabers. I am alive and well in 2020, and I hope you are too. Right? Anyways, I got a new saber to show you. It's a variation of my Creed production series saber that I've done some extra special etching to and some work which I'll show in detail in a moment, but I'm calling it the Creed Protovolved. And I'll explain the name in a minute. It'll make more sense. As you can tell, it's a Plector pixel saber. It'll come with my NPX2 blade. I'm going with green with this one. This is my Rogue sound font, which is available at saberfont.com. Something classic and light side. Of course, you can choose a dark side style if you wanted to. With the smooth swing, it's a really excellent saber to use. Very well balanced. Feels good in the hand. It's got a lot of really cool detail, which I'll get into in a minute, and you may be able to tell from distance it's got the OLED screen on this one, so it's tricked out and ready to go. This saber is suitable for medium to light dueling. The saber itself can handle hard dueling, but there are some details on the hilt which I'll explain, which could take damage if they were to hit a saber blade at full contact. So this may be more of a showpiece and something to do some spin work with and show off at a con, when we can get back to that kind of thing, or whatever. Of course, with the Plector Pixel Saber, you can change the color, the spectrum mode, pick a color that works for you.
Blade profiles.
I held down the button, so now I'm in the blade profiles, and as I turn it, I get multiple selections of blade profiles, which are all come programmed with the saber. So you can pick the different flickers, pulses, flame effects. So you can pick one that you like for your saber. And you can tell there's a subtle pulse. So it's kind of a lime, greeny yellow. So that's your thing. Of course, if you want, you switch to one of the other, I think there's 18 fonts on here. It comes with a full range of my fonts, including the new one.
Sound bank selection.
Let's see if I can find it. Rogue. I'm just toggling through the fonts, and as you may be able to see, not from this distance, each font has an animation that comes up on the OLED screen as you go. Oh, there it is. If I want to go back, if I went too far, activation button, then I hold the auxiliary button to lock in Ash's sound font. So if the dark side is more your flavor, this has been my most fun font to play with lately. But anyways, we're not here to talk about fonts. Let's get on with more details about this saber. Alright, this video is going to serve as the operating instructions for whoever gets this fine saber. I want to point out some of the design features. Of course, this is based on my Creed production model. And the vision for this saber, and why I'm calling it Protovolved, is not so much a descriptor of the saber, but of an era. So as you may know, the original lightsabers way back in eons past were called a proto saber. You can look that up online, and they were basically a lightsaber that had a power cable and a power pack that the user would wear. And so what I envisioned with this is kind of what evolved from that. What was the next phase of lightsaber that when it became self-contained somewhere back in the eons of history. So you've still got some exposed armored cables here and a lot more detailing. And of course some archaic styles of weathering that are kind of nondescript, neither Sith nor Jedi, but definitely reminiscent of imagery like the lightsaber crystals or holocrons or ancient temples or things like that. So that was the vision behind the sabers, a very old saber, proto-volved era. Now with this saber, generally with the Creed design, it's fully suitable for hard dueling. However, because I've put some really interesting cosmetic detailing on the saber, those could be bent if they were to take a saber hit. So I'm going to certify this for medium or light dueling for the new owner. It's certainly able to use it and enjoy it, but you can bend these cables. Of course, you could try to bend them back into shape, just so you're aware. Now, for the use of this saber, there's already a battery installed. You can hit either the buttons, and that'll wake it up from sleep mode, and you'll see, first thing you'll notice is I'll activate it again. I'll hit the auxiliary button while it's awake, and you get a number of things. I'll do a little close-up on that in a minute, so you can toggle through different images of this, for the OLED screen to display. To put in a blade, you just slide it in. Oops, it's got a blade plug. I forgot. This saber is going to come with my, here I'll show you, pixel blade plug. Of course it corresponds to whatever the color the blade is. You can release that. You don't want to drop these because these are resin 3D printed, so they're very fragile and will break if you drop them. And of course it's got the pixel connector there. You take a pixel blade. The saber will come with my NPX2 blade. You install it, tighten up the screw so it doesn't fly out and fly through someone's window or wreck your blade. That's the activation button. The auxiliary button, you hold up for the lockup. Of course, you've got a blade running animation on the OLED screen. If you tap both buttons at the same time, now you're in Spectre mode. You cycle the saber like a motorcycle throttle, and you dial in whatever color you want. And you can tap the button to select that color, or you hold the button. Now you're in the blade profiles, and you can twist the saber, and you can get all kinds of, you won't be able to see them on camera because it's too bright, all kinds of different blade animations and different effects, flicker, pulse, flame style. So you select whatever's good for you. And of course, that's how to use the saber. When you're ready, you take the blade out, you carefully set that aside, and you can leave it like this, or you could reinsert the blade plug, press it in, and just gently anchor it there. So you notice this has got my my faux age weathering done on it. So it's the metal's been specifically weathered a number of steps to get it to look particularly old and worn and weathered. And I'm really happy with how this saber turned out. Now to get inside this saber, to change the battery and other stuff, you just remove the pommel like so. Set that aside, and you'll be able to grip the battery holder and just gently work that out. Sometimes it may come out with this plastic sleeve, sometimes it may not. We're actually going to use that in a minute. Of course, you can pull the ribbon to remove your battery. Just grab a new battery or charge this one up, pop it back in, have the ribbon laying across like so, always positive to positive, negative to negative. You pop it in, you'll hear it boot up, you see the screen animate. Of course, you can gently lift the back end of the SD card if you want to get, or to the crystal focus if you want to get the SD card out, or have access to your micro USB port. When it's time to put things back together again, I make sure the plastic sleeve is out so that I can gently slide that over, and I can make sure that the screen clears the plastic sleeve so it doesn't catch on that. And then you want to line up with your window. Easy way to do this is just tap the auxiliary button, and now you've got your battery level meter, and you can just slide that in, line that up with the window so it's perfect, thread your pommel back on, and you are good to go. That's how simple it is to operate this saber. I wanted to give you a close-up look at some of the detail of the armored wires and the etching and some of the weathering that's making the saber look particularly old. You'll notice this one doesn't have an O-ring in. I just thought a rubber O-ring just wasn't suitable for an ancient prop. So we've just got the bare metal there with some weathering in it. Of course, there's a really nice powder coating that I've used before. I kind of refer to it as my brown coat powder coating. It's kind of a satin finish, a little bit of slight metallic in there with, of course, the weathering and more of the etching. And of course, you've got your screen. So when you tap the auxiliary button, you toggle through different animations. It tells you what the font is, some information, rotating crystal. Just got several animations that are pre-programmed into the crystal focus. They work on every font, and you go back to blank. And of course, you tap it again. And then if you activate your saber, you get this animation while the blade is running. Of course, you can see the color through the blade plug. These little doodads actually are something that I had in mind years ago when I designed the Creed pommel, is to place something in there just for added detail. I never liked the pommel cubes on the Obi-Wan Phantom Menace hilt. They just are sharp edges, they'll catch on things. But this is kind of like a revisited, you know, with some detail that sticks out and makes the pommel a little bit larger and beefier. So that's the special Creed saber. It's going to be going up for sale on my website very soon. And I'll be kind of sad to see it go. So hopefully it goes to a new home, maybe yours. Thanks again for watching. Again, if you like this video, click the subscribe button and the little bell so that you are notified when awesome stuff happens around here. Thanks again for watching.